So last week on part one of this podcast with the Q&A, like how to raise your prices without pissing people off or losing clients, I ended up deciding to record it in like a two-part series because on the first part, I really had to dive into more of like the mindset and wrapping your mind around the idea of like you need to charge accordingly for what you do if you're providing tremendous value. So if you haven't listened to that one, definitely go back and listen to that before you listen to this one. But on this one, I've given the idea, once you finally committed to the idea, yep, I'm going to raise my prices, I give you the tactical tips of how to do it, how to raise it effectively, break down some math and some numbers about how you can really increase your income without working any harder and really change just your overall projection of where you're going and making good money for helping people with the best that you can do. I also add in a little bit of a bonus about what we do in our own treatments and our own program and how that really can just take you to a whole different level. So I hope you enjoy the show. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Soft Tissue Revolution podcast. Dr. Matt Maggio here. Thanks again for stopping by. Getting more and more downloads from all over the world, people everywhere. Reaching out, asking me for help, giving me some good tips and things they want us to cover. A couple housekeeping things. I've been more active posting things on my Instagram account, my LinkedIn account, showing some training videos, some palpation videos, some treatment stuff. So really good stuff to help you just better in your skill set, communication with your clients, educating properly, all that good stuff. But this is part two of a podcast that I started recording last week, and then I realized as I was going that it was going to go really long and probably end up being like 30 minutes. And I try to keep these under like 15 minutes or so you can digest them, use them, and then go from there. I don't want to be Joe Rogan on here like talking for hours and hours at a time because you pretty much get sick and tired of just listening to me talk. On part one of the podcast, how can I raise my prices without pissing off people or losing clients? Really dove in really deep, more about the idea of like money mindset, your own value of what you provide, the conviction of what you do. And it was more of a mindset type of podcast. I didn't really give you a lot of tactical stuff. If you haven't gone back and listened to that, listen to that one first because this one won't work in context from what you see. But go back and listen to that. It broke it down in a couple ways, one from like your perspective as the therapist, as the person providing the treatment, what the client's perspective is, and then lastly, what the business looks like. So I want you to really be able to get your mind right about money. Like we have such this bad relationship with money, and it's like this limited, non-abundant mindset. I'm not like these like woo-woo bullshit stuff where like, oh, if you manifest, it'll happen. It's like, no, money is just an exchange of energy for providing value. And if you're providing tremendous value, you're going to be great. So I just want to recap the question and just read it again. Lisa from LinkedIn, I'm fully booked for the next 3 months. I know I should be grateful, especially with what is going on with COVID in the crazy world. I've been wanting to raise my prices for the last 3 years, but always backed out last minute as I was afraid of losing clients or making them mad. On the other hand, I am working way too hard. My body is getting beat up, and I'm not making the kind of money I need to get ahead and feel stable in my own life. I know that sounds greedy, but I have to do something or I'm not going to last. What is the best way to raise my prices without pissing people off that have been loyal clients for years and stuck with me during COVID? Just need a sip of coffee before I get started. So a couple things that are wrong with that is there's a lot of like, don't feel bad about being successful. There's so many people, I see it on LinkedIn all the time. They're just dropping out of the profession. They're like, oh, it didn't work for me. Like life's hard, blah, blah, blah. And then people out there that are killing it, they feel bad about killing it. Like, oh, I'm doing great. Well, yeah, that's awesome. You deserve that. You put the time in. You put the effort in. You deserve to be booked. You deserve to do these things. Like, don't ever feel bad about it or think that you're feeling greedy for wanting to charge more for what you do. Think the amount of value that you're providing to your clients. You're keeping them away from bullshit. Trust me, there's a lot of bullshit out there in the medical world. There's chiropractors that do never-ending adjustments, physical therapy that doesn't work, orthopedic surgeons giving people cortisone injections and surgeries they don't need. You're truly helping them. That's why soft tissue treatment is so important. Don't ever feel bad for making money, for having people, because if you're providing value, you deserve to have those things. So in this part 2 of the podcast, I want you to wrap your mind around the idea that you deserve to be paid, and you deserve to be paid accordingly for what you do. And if you're running your body, redlining it, you're, flooring it, you're beat up, you're not doing well, you're not going to be able to sustain that. You can sit there and say you are, be like, yeah, eventually I'm going to figure this out. If I can just get through this next couple months, I can go. But your bodies are getting beat up. Like being booked and seeing 6 or 7 massages a day, like that's got to wreak havoc on your body. Even if you're fit and you take care of yourself, it's still a lot. And it's going to mess with you. And you have to eventually come to terms with that. But so if you are going to sacrifice your health, you're going to sacrifice your wellness, you need to at least plan for the future, and you need to make more money. Because if you're not going to last, you only got a certain earning window for the next couple years if you want to keep redlining it like that. So you've decided that you're finally going to do it. You're going to raise your prices. You know that you need to charge more. You know that you're worth more. Because when you don't charge what you should, it makes you kind of have resentment towards your clients and stuff. You're like, I know I'm worth more, but I just feel bad. Like they're not going to get any of this treatment from anyone else down the road. They're not going to go to fucking Massage Envy or Hand and Stone and get the quality that you can give them. So get yourself past that. Let go of that shit. Let go of that relationship with money and just go and raise your prices and stick to it. So you want to raise your prices. Here's how to do it. First off, commit to doing it. Once again, commit. Like Lisa said earlier, she chickened out every time she does it. And don't let circumstances of what's going on in the world, like COVID, the economy, anything like that. Like talked about this on the original part of this podcast. Like people spend a lot of money on a lot of stupid shit. And for their health and wellness, it's the best investment that they can ever give. And you're giving them a 10x return on their money. So don't ever blame the circumstances or what's going on in the world for not wanting to do stuff, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. So you want to raise the prices. So this is what we do when we start working with clinics that want to just start by raising their prices. Just make an announcement. And then have a talk in person with each person. Be like, hey, going forward, I've gotten a lot better. We've gotten really booked up, and, the practice is really growing, but my costs are going up and things like that. And if I can continue to provide the highest level of value to you, we do need to raise our prices. So let's say, I'm just going to use hypothetical numbers. Let's say you get $100 for an hour treatment. That's pretty good. Good for you. And you want to raise your prices by $5 per session. So what is that? Like 5%? Yeah, 5%. See, that's why I did 100, so I can do better math. So you just raise your prices by 5%. And that's pretty good, So think about that. So say you're seeing 20 clients per week. I'm just using these numbers to make math easier. Now you're able to make an extra $100 a week. That's really good. And you add that up over a month, you made an extra $400. You add that up over a whole year, you've made an extra $5,000. Not too shabby. And the thing you're going to realize is that $5 really doesn't matter to people. Like $5 is not going to be a make or break for people. And it adds an extra $5,000 to your income, which is really good without having to do anything different. That helps you. What I would recommend is going higher than 5%. I'd actually go 10%, because now you start adding stuff up. Now you add $10 to it. Now you're doing $800 a month. That's an extra $10,000. I'd even go 15. I'm like that too. So the thing is, when you raise your prices, you just have to not be scared about it, but have that conversation with each client. Be like, this is why I'm doing it. Here's what's going on. And I want to provide you the best value possible. Most of your clients are going to be totally reasonable. If someone bitches and complains about $5 or $10 that's been coming to you forever, they don't respect you. They don't care. They look at you as a commodity, and you got to get past that and let those people go the fuck away. That's the truth. Let them go the fuck away. Here's how I know if you did your price raise properly. I call it the 20% rule. So when you raise your prices, 20% of your people should complain and actually leave. Think about that. Like, it's okay if they leave, because if you raise it even more, you're going to be able to see the same amount of money or even more, but you're going to see less people. Now it solves your other problem of like, fuck, I'm seeing too many people. So it's like before you'd have to see 7 or 8 massages a day. Maybe now you can do 5. That's better. That helps you last longer, helps your mental health, helps your physical health, goes from there. So just be comfortable raising your prices and don't worry about shit. Like at the end of the day, like I continue to say this, like the dumb shit that people spend money on every day, but then they want to play nickel and dime with that. Go back and listen to that Price Demons podcast where I talked about that too. If someone who's been coming to you forever really bitches and complains about $5, $10, and you're helping them and you've provided amazing value, great service across the board, they're not the kind of people you want. Now you'll have an opening to try to get more people. So that's how you raise your prices effectively. You have the conversation, you get your mind wrapped around it. You actually add 10 or 15% to that because you can go from there. You start thinking about that. Like those numbers really jump up 5%, 10%, 15%. So if you could add an extra $5, $10, $15,000 to your income per year without doing anything else, that's great. That's awesome. Think about that. And you don't have to change anything. You just have to be confident doing that. And knowing when you raise your prices that you have a really amazing product and solution that people want. So that's how to do it. But I'm going to throw a little bonus in here. This is what I say to do. I talked about this before when I went over the 4 frameworks of how to double your income and work less and avoid burnout. So the clients that work with me in the Peak Method, and this is a shameless plug, not even a shameless plug, because these are real results that we see. The clients that I see, and as we're going and we're growing their practice, they're able to generate significant income. They're doing anywhere from 10 to 15,000 per month, working less than 25 hours a week, and they're not getting burnt out because they're getting taken seriously as that solution provider. Most people say, yeah, that sounds great, but that sounds like a lot of bullshit. I promise you it's not bullshit. We've tried and tested this out and it works. And this is how you're going to actually really grow. So I talk about the different levers in your business. You can get more clients, you can charge more, or you can increase your capacity. And your capacity is where you really go. So when we start working with a client, when they come in, usually this is like the demographic of a client that wants to work with us. They're very busy. They're booked up. Their bodies are pretty beat up. They're not charging what they want, and they're not truly fixing people. So if that fits your criteria and you're seeing that, yeah, reach out, because that's what we fix all day long. So the first thing that we do is we start by getting you to double your capacity. And people are like, oh shit, if I double my capacity, I'll lose my mind. If I do 16 massages in a day, I'll go fucking crazy. No, we don't do that. The way our treatments work are they're more effective, they're more functional based, they're less wear and tear on your body, and they actually fix people. So your hands-on component is a lot less. So now you've taken that load off your body, you're able to function better, and you can start helping more people. That's the goal, to help more people. So what we always recommend when we start and you come on to our program is we have a really good email that we send out to all the clients about the changes that we're making. We're going to a more functional-based, solution-based thing, give example treatment videos of what's going to be happening. You learn the system, you do that. And then what we do is, say you're charging 100, right? We said you're charging 100 per hour. So the first thing that we end up having you do is we have you go down to 30-minute appointments and still charge anywhere from, I don't know, like 60 to 80 per session. So now you're doing 160 an hour as opposed to that 100, but you're also not beating your body up as well. This is how you really grow. And as you get better and you get more and more ingrained in the system and everything like that, eventually we go down to 20-minute appointments where you can see 3 an hour and still charge $65, $75 per visit. Now you're up to $225 an hour. And I can guarantee you there ain't many massage therapists out there making that amount of money. And if they are, they're having to kiss people's asses. They're having to do a bunch of shit that they don't want to do. So this is the lever that you really need to pull, is increasing that capacity. But you have to learn how to do the treatment and the system differently. And that's what we teach in the Peak Method in my training. And that's why I'm reaching out. Because you listen to this podcast, you want to do something different. You're overbooked. You're not making the money you want. Your bodies are beat the fuck up, and you're not really fixing people how you want. And you're stuck. I want people that are stuck, that are still successful, but know that they can't continue going on like this. Because in our program, you go to a solutions-based, more functional-based treatment. So less wear on you, better for the client. You get to help more people. You get to be in a much better position financially. You get the reputation of being different, better. And the best part is you get to replace some of those pain in the ass clients with new ones. And here's the thing. Yes, you have to learn a new system. It will take time. There is a financial commitment and growing pains of learning something new. But you can make a lot more money, work less, and help more people. It's not a bad trade-off. So that's all I got for you guys today on part 2 of the podcast. And the last thing I want to leave you with is I can't help you until you commit. But once you do, I won't let you fail. Appreciate you guys. And all the information for the program, what we do, is in the show notes. Like I said, we're very active on social media now, sharing a lot of behind the scenes stuff of what's going on. And I really just want to help you become that solutions provider, make more money, and help me along my journey to stop pain pill abuse and get people quality hands-on treatment. But it starts with having the life, the business, and the practice that you deserve so you can show up better for your clients and help more people. Appreciate you. See you on the next one. Bye. Thanks so much for listening to the show. If you're a massage therapist and you want to learn more about our new methods that allow you to easily double your income without working any harder or getting burnout, we have some free resources for you. 1, join our Facebook group, The Soft Tissue Revolution. 2, subscribe to our YouTube channel. 3, request our free training series. 4, leave us a 5-star review and share this podcast with anyone else you know it can help. Links to all our channels and free training are in the show notes.